Hi, welcome back to another episode of Practical Organic Living. In our previous videos, we showed you what a Lomi composter was, how to use a Lomi, and we even compared the results of the Lomi composter versus another composter. However, what we didn't show you was what we actually do with the finished product. So in today's video, we're going to give you a couple ideas on how you can actually use the finished product. So there's actually some debate over whether Lomi produces real compost, true compost, whether you can actually use a compost. So our goal today is not to answer those questions, but our goal today is to show you how you can actually incorporate the finished product from the Lomi into your garden. What we can actually also tell you is that the nutrients from your previously uncomposted food scraps or kitchen waste will be far more readily available to your plants if you use a Lomi versus not using a Lomi. And that's because the Lomi breaks down your kitchen scraps and unfinished food waste into something that has a lot more surface area for the soil biology and the microbes to go digest and convert into available plant nutrients. So for example, if you toss in some paper napkins and a banana peel and a chicken bone, that may take a little while to compost down in your garden versus having a Lomi grind those types of materials down. So we're going to take you around and show you how we use the finished product from our Lomi around our garden. So one of the easiest ways to use the finished Lomi product is to actually put some into a container where you're going to be watering trees or other plants. The reason why we like using this method is because when you water the compost, you're basically fertilizing your trees or plants next to the container because it actually leaches nutrients out. So we think this is a pretty neat way of using a compost from a Lomi. The most common way we use the Lomi in the garden is actually to sprinkle the finished product around our plants. And a good way to fertilize your plants is by giving them organic matter. Now this is not completely broken down, so we're not actually incorporating this into the soil itself. So what I actually like to do after spreading some around the surface is use some shredded paper and just cover it up. That way you don't attract as many unwanted bugs and critters. And after I put the shredded paper on top, I like to give it a little bit of watering. That way it activates the soil biology and the earthworms will start breaking this down even further for the plants to eat. So alternatively, you can spread the Lomi compost on the base of your perennials like raspberry bushes or blackberry bushes, and you don't have to cover it, but we like to cover it because it looks kind of better. Here's an example of not covering the finished compost. Right. And for those who have worm bins, another option is to actually add the Lomi compost into a worm bin because the worm likes the stuff and they will actually break it down even further for you. And then you can use the worm castings and spread that into your garden. So this is a hungry bin. There's a lot of different worm bins you can use. And what I like to do is put some of the Lomi compost in the middle or an area where you want them to start breaking down the food scraps, and then they'll get to work. So as you can see, they're pretty happy. I've been feeding them compost from the Lomi every couple days and they seem to be enjoying this. And after you do that, I usually just give it a little bit of water to break it down. All right, have fun, worms. So we're planning to plant ginger in this raised bed in a couple of months, but we want to first add nutrients in here and get this bed prepped for planting ginger later on. So I'm just going to dig a small hole and drop some of our Lomi compost in here. And give or take a week or two, this will probably be digested by all the worms. So this is another great way on how to use the Lomi compost in your garden. And after you put in the compost, I like to give it a little bit of watering. That way you activate the microbes and the worms start coming in here and breaking down the compost. So another way we like to use our finished product from the Lomi is to put it into another composter that breaks the material down even further. So as you can see, this material is not fully broken down. There's lots of decomposed paper towels and some eggshells and some other bits and pieces like some fruit rinds, but we need to break this out even further. So we're going to put this inside. So what I'm going to do right now is just pour the finished Lomi product inside and let this break down even faster. So we hope this really short video gave you some ideas on how to use your Lomi compost around your garden. If you have any other ideas on how to use compost from your Lomi, do let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video, everyone. Bye.